From Accra and Adabraka. Whenever it starts raining, Wahala Day. Let's go on to the phone line and speak with Georgia Samoa. Joshua Samoa. He's with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Joshua, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, Johnny. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell me, from where you sit, usually when you give these weather updates and warnings that it is going to rain, do people take them serious?
Well, thank you. A very good morning to everyone listening. I think it's more like a mixed feeling. There are people who don't really take it serious. There are some who also take it very seriously. And so you have people who actually even call us to ask if there is any updates or whatever. And there are people who also get the information and just disregard the whole information. So it's more like a mixture of the two.
Now, in terms of regard and disregard, you also come to the point where you sometimes say it's going to rain very heavily and people take it very lightly, even though they take your weather warnings, but they take it so lightly. What are some of the consequences that could emanate from such habits?
So the intensity is quite seriously. It's something that is very important when it comes to the communication of the event. That is why we are actually using the impact-based forecast now, so that the intensity, the severity, and everything will be captured in the information that the people are actually receiving. In that case, the actions or the decisions that they take based on the information that they get is relevant to the information that is reaching them. And so you don't underplay or overestimate whatever you should do during the period when that event is expected. We know that in the past, when we're doing all the hazard base and we're just communicating that it is going to rain, or we don't really add the intensity and the impact that it will have, people were not really taking decisions that were relevant to the information. At least with this kind of impact-based forecast, the decision is more related to the information that we get. Because if you are getting an information of a severe event and your decision is to act as if the event is going to be a light or a moderate event, then the impact will be very severe on the activity that you have within the day. It's very good that you actually act based on the characteristics of that particular event that you're experiencing that particular time.
I know that you have equally been worried about spatial planning in Accra and many other different cities in this country, how people have built on waterways and choked gutters and all of that, because you know the volumes of water or volumes of rain that we're to expect at any given time and the impact. Do you have such conversations with people and the authorities, the powers that be, about spatial planning and all of those ones? Because it's a big concern, is it not?
Oh, yes, it's a very big concern, considering the fact that we in Accra are not only affected by just the rainfall that comes to Accra, other runoff coming from even the eastern region towards us. It causes a very low-lying area, and then all the water is draining into the ocean. They eventually pass it, they get to the ocean. And so our impact is not just based on the rainfall that we are experiencing here. Other impacts, runoff from other areas also affect us. When the wager dam is also open, there's also the runoff also affects us. And so it makes our situation quite dire, and so we shouldn't take planning lightly at all. So that's for this reason why we have a lot of collaborations with other institutions. For instance, we are interested in what is happening in the atmosphere. Once it hits the ground, another institution takes over. For instance, Ghana Hydrological Authority is in charge of flooding, and so they are responsible for the drains and all of those things. And so there's that collaboration with them so that they know what amount we are expecting, and they can also tell its impact on the drains that they have, on the possibility of flooding in areas across the country. And based on that information, because they know the return periods of the drains and then the possibility, the amount of rainfall they need to cause flooding in any other area in the county, they're able to inform what decisions we should take. I think the issue that we've had in the past is that we've not had a long-term projection of how the rainfall amounts are going to
That's right.
In the next 10 years, in the next 5 years. And so when we are planning, we don't have that information to plan with. But in recent years, we've actually made advances in that. and we are going to very soon launch the climate alert, which is going to give us projections into the future. What in the next 50 years we are expecting, what we are expecting in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, and that can help planning and will make meaningful decisions based on that information.
You mentioned earlier that, well, Accra is the final receiver or receptacle of all the rain that comes from the top. Should we also be concerned about how they do their planning there, how we are turning greens into browns and to glass and to tiles? Should we in Accra be concerned about it, or should we just be sitting in a corner and minding our business?
We should be very concerned because, like I said, not everywhere in the county, the rain in everywhere in the country will not be getting here. There are some that go through the Akusumbo Dam, which is more like a retention point for some of the runoff that is coming from the northern portions of Ghana. There are some that are also collected in the black water, the white water, the lower water, and all of that. But like I was saying earlier, in the eastern region, for instance, when the rains around those areas, the runoff directly affects areas in Greater Accra. The Ouija Dam is collecting some of them, but not all of them will be able to be collected by the Ouija Dam. And so we'll still have some passing through Accra. And so for that reason, we would need to be concerned about what happens in those areas as well. And so when we're even monitoring the possibility of flooding, we are not only considering what is happening in Accra, we are even considering what is happening in the eastern region because its impact will directly affect us in Greater Accra. So same way as we are concerned about how we are planning our land use and all of that in Accra, we should also be concerned about those areas as well. If we have more water retention points in those areas, then they will collect the water and reduce the runoff that will come into Greater Accra. Maybe later when the rain has receded or subsided, we can decide to now channel the water that has been collected through a means that will not affect any other person. That way we will reduce the stress and then the flooding issues that we have in Greater Accra.
There's accommodation deficits in Accra. There's also population growth in Accra. And then there's the question of the topography of Accra. How do we put these three together in a beautiful triangle so that we don't end up disadvantaging ourselves and drowning altogether in rain?
I have been saying this to people who are around that population increase is actually one of the reasons why we are having all of these issues that we're having in Accra. Because once everybody wants to now relocate to Accra, there's a lot of pressure on the land, and that is forcing people to even settle on water retention areas. So once there's that struggle for land in Accra, and we are not looking at moving to other areas, everybody wants to come to Accra, then obviously that is going to affect us, our planning as well. We should find ways of expanding our economic activities into other areas so that other sectors, other cities will also become very busy and people will move to those areas and settle there as well. If we don't do that and Accra becomes our only economic city where people would want to move from everywhere across the country to the city, we will definitely be fighting most of these battles at the time.
That's scary, is it not?
Well, yes, I see it to be scary, but I think that it needs a lot more push, and people would also have to change their own mentalities and the way they see things before we'll be able to have that kind of impact that we will actually want to have.
I see. George, Joshua, I want to thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. Any closing thoughts before you go? As we go through the day, because we know that some more rain will come. What advice do you have for us?
Yes, it's actually raining in parts of Greater Accra. We expect it to persist for some time, probably subsiding towards the early hours of the afternoon and drifting to the western side. So the central western region will also be experiencing a rain this morning into the afternoon. And we are still in the minor rainfall season for southern Ghana. So it means that we'll still be experiencing some rainfall if you find yourself in the southern part of Ghana. This is expected till somewhere around November, so mid to late November. That's when we're expecting that the rain will significantly subside for southern Ghana. And so if you are making your plans for the day, you should try as much as possible to include weather information so that your decisions that you take will be informed by the weather information that you receive and you don't find yourself in any unforeseen circumstances.
Thank you very much indeed, Joshua Samwa, a senior meteorologist with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. We're grateful for your time this morning.
The best in the morning is on.
Can't blame her. Be a big baller. Be a baller. Ni tola be a ni rally si bano, but Jenna can be in a penny to lava be a. If I say got to have a come on enough, but come on.
The struggle is real, huh? And the frustration is deep. Some 8 minutes to the top of the hour 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We're discussing the rain and your accommodation, the Accra you live in, the Kumasi you live in, the Takrady you live in, the Ho you live in, the Tamale you live in, the Sunyani you live in, the Techima you live in, and how all of that affects you. You can connect with us on Facebook. We are 3FM 927 on Facebook and X. And we're happy to share your thoughts and comments. The hashtag is 3FM Sunrise. So this clearly is a deep frustration from the woman. That look, this to what you were talking about earlier. That this place used to be a gutter, a drainage. This place used to be a bare land. We called it Big Baller. Suddenly somebody comes up and is given a permit. And these sound bites are from about 5 years ago. Yeah. Somebody's given a permit, built there, and the whole place get flooded.
Johnny, I have a friend. We schooled together at Maoli. And by the way, Maoli, our 75th anniversary is on next week.
Mr. Amma, good morning.
And so so we'll be headed towards the Volta region, head hand. He lives at Kaswa,
right.
Is with the customs department, has his own property there, and he called me out of nowhere about a year or so ago and says, Eric, you have to send a reporter to come and do a story for me. This area has never flooded until a church building came. A church building was put on the waterway, and since then he hasn't had rest whenever it rains in his neighborhood.
Wow.
Says that they've tried all they can. They've written to the assembly, asked that action be taken, that the church be removed, because all of the homes along that stretch are suffering as a result
because of one building.
And yet nobody is doing anything. To the extent that at some point in time, it was telling me that they were threatening to take action by themselves. Go and
close the church or demolish it.
And demolish it. This is what happens in almost every part of Accra today, where whenever it rains, homes are flooded, persons are losing property, and you call it what?
It's not just in Accra, by the way. I mean, if you go to the central region, western region,
everywhere,
it's happening haphazardly. People are
just putting up the
anyhow
structures.
And anywhere.
Because I remember, my mom bought a land at Afuaman.
Right.
I mean, for some very strange reason, a part of the land was sold to another person. She followed up. They gave her another land to replace what she lost. They said it was in the road, and so we didn't accept that.
Right.
But subsequently, another individual has found that portion which was designated as a road useful.
It's found it worthy to build.
And it's building.
In the heart of the road.
In what you see, so when a community is coming up,
that's right,
and this
the
is
demarcations
are done.
So the surveyor will go and pick the points.
They state clearly which parts are road, which parts are not, and all of that. People are just building wherever they can, and then subsequently, the residents, engineers, and all of that will come back when the buildings are already up, and come and write stop work, produce permits.
Sometimes the people who are building
write the
stop work themselves,
so that when they finish, and I think per our laws, once it reaches lintel level, then it becomes a challenge having to bring it down.
Look at the 2021 population census, right? The projected figure of or number of people to be in the Greater Accra region by 2050 is about 9.6 million. The current estimate is about 4 million. The 2021 census puts Greater Accra region at a population of over 5 million, about 5.4-ish to almost 6 million. Now, the Accra city itself, where we are talking about, this Accra city that encapsulates Osu, Kanda, Dabraka, Accra Central, Choko, Bukom, you know, it's about 2.8 million people. So let's say 3 million people. Now, the question you ask is, where do they sleep? And Joshua put it succinctly that everybody wants to come to Accra. And because everybody wants to come to Accra, we have to make sure that we are finding accommodation for everybody.
Yeah.
In the past, a parcel of land used to be 100 by 100, then it reduced to 70 by 100. Now, people are buying quarter plot, half plot, and they're building.
Yeah.
All those I'm making reference to studio buildings. People buy studio apartment. People buy one plot and they can divide it into 2 or 3 and build. And people find it okay to live in because we have an accommodation problem. Now, what has our country done in terms of trying to help with the accommodation conundrum? Saglemi comes to mind.
Yeah.
It's in the Greater Accra region. What did we do with all the investment that we put into Saglemi?
It's as of the last check, it's in the
we
hands
wasted
of
the money.
It's in the hands of a private individual who's going to try and complete it at the cost the average Ghanaian cannot afford. That needs to be stated emphatically. At the cost the average Ghanaian cannot afford. That's the situation.
That's the basic thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense because if in other countries, and we talk about the Rwandas of this world, we talk about the South Africas of this world, and many other places where accommodation is made available to people. It doesn't matter where they come from, but it's made available to them. If you want to, for example, live in central London, you pay more.
Yeah.
If you want to live in the outskirts, maybe South London or East London, or whatever, you pay lesser.
Yeah.
If you want to live, in places like Leicester, and you pay even way, way, way less. It all depends on you. But you all live in the United Kingdom, by the way.
And opportunities are even
everywhere. I remember that when we decided that we were going to, create the new regions, the 6 new regions. That is Oti, Bono East, Savannah, Northeast, Western North. We give each of them 20 million Ghana cedis. You remember?
Yeah.
As seed money. And the purpose was for them to have services and opportunities closer to the people so that rural urban migration will be a thing of the past. And then we also said that we're going to do planting for export and rural development paired project. You remember that? We spent monies on these things. Yet every morning today, somebody is in a car giddy from some Ninehini place coming to Accra, not knowing where to sleep, not knowing where to go. So public toilets have become the mainstay, right? They become the norm.
Not just the
public washrooms.
Because people take their bath in these public areas every morning.
I know a place in some part of Greater Accra region where people actually boil hot water and sell in the morning. On cold mornings like this, they boil hot water and they sell. And then you have...
there's a need. So
and then you have the toothpaste. The toothpaste is there.
So you go and
then they squeeze some for you onto your brush and then you pay. I think about 20p, maybe 30. I don't know how much, but the last time I checked on Community Connect, because I used to roam around.
Roaming around.
And then sponge, not the bathing sponge, the chewing sponge. It's they've packaged it, they've rolled it, and then you pay. I think 50p. They put some of the paste in it, and then they give it to you. Those who bring their brush, and then they have toilet roll. Right?
The toilet roll is luxury.
Toilet roll is luxury. It's a newspaper or cement paper.
Yeah, if you
depending on, and you find that these people are people who are either sleeping in kiosks or they are sleeping
in the open
at the frontage of somebody's shop.
Yeah.
So there's a real accommodation problem that we are not fixing. Now these people generate waste. Where do they keep their waste?
Gutters, drainages.
And then it will choke the gutters along with those who also live in homes who will deliberately come and choke the gutters. And then when it rains, we all start crying, boy, boy, boy. Let's go on to the phone line now and speak with Loveless Bobobi Kwajo Ejo, practicing public health scientist. Good morning, lovelies, and thank you very much for your time. Where's all?
Yo,
Great.
thank you so much and for
Great.
your business and having me.
Great. Let's begin from this public health point of view. We just ended a part of the conversation that suggests that, look, people are sleeping outside, people are perching in kiosks, how to ease themselves, how to clean themselves, personal hygiene, the ways they generate, where it goes, and the effects. You are the public health professional. Tell us the effect of what these things could be bringing in terms of the health and safety of all of us. Tell us.
It is rather unfortunate that every year we have to repeat the same thing over and over. Because when the rain sets in, there are lots that happens in terms of sanitation and its ripple effect, especially with respect to typhoid, cholera, and the rest. Especially with those who do not have good sanitary environment, like those who do open defecation, because the rain is on and very heavy, they can't come out. Some have to do it in the nylons and then throwing them into the running waters. For someone to get infected with this bacteria is basically getting into contact with fecal matters. Now, when you talk of fecal matter, talk about what the waste that comes from us, the feces, and how would it get into us? When you study most of our system, especially our pipe water, a number of them get broken along the highways and certain areas. So in the course of this running water due to the heavy rain, and these people contaminate the running water, some find their way into the crevices, into the broken pipes, and they get into our homes. Some too, our kids, our younger ones come into contact with them.
Right.
So all of this, you reach all of us directly or indirectly. Those who do even the open defecation, some of them sell our food to us.
That's correct.
Some package the food. Some of this water gets into the vegetables. If you get to some of our cities, I don't want to mention specific areas, they grow vegetables along the street. And they use some of this water to, they use some of this water.
In fact, the FDA at some point had cause to tell us that all those stuff that we eat, the vegetables, the lettuce, the cabbage, the carrots, the gutter water, they told us that it's contaminated with fecal matter. The FDA told us that.
Yes, which is true. If we currently check our data, there have been a rapid increase in typhoid infection. But it's rather unfortunate, but government is not doing its best to improve our public health side of the health delivery system. If that is done, we would have deployed a lot of health experts in the public health direction to do some public education in collaboration with FDA. I'm not sure FDA have enough field inspectors to be able to join this fight. So if they're able to join the fight, we control the farming, we control them, the kind of water they use to nourish these vegetables they grow along the streets. And for us as persons, because we are unaware about some of these things, we are unable to know whether they are contaminated or not. Because if you get to the supermarket to buy some of these vegetables,
right,
how do you know this one is coming from the street? This comes from Accra or coming from the mining industry? You can't determine. So government has to help us. The public health sector will go around, do a lot of public education to both the food vendors, both the farmers, as well as the hawkers and people who live around. Ghana Water as well. Because I've not seen Ghana Water moving around the community, checking broken pipes, even before the rain comes in. Because most of our waters are contaminated. You may live at Mamprobi, but maybe the source of the water will be contaminated along the line.
That's right.
So when the rain falls, it gets into it. So you would open your pipe in your home thinking you are taking a clean water. But unfortunately, is contaminated. Some also comes with those who have boreholes. We advise them that in digging up your boreholes in your rooms or in your homes, ensure the minimum meters, the distance from the latrines, or which we call the sockaway.
The manholes.
The manholes. They are crevices that are created by these rodents in the ground, the mounds, and the slip, well, even the worms, how do they call it? I forgot. These millicents and stuff also work in. So if the distance between them is not as much as expected,
right,
the holes will let leakages of the wastewater get into contact with your borehole. So you go, we treat you come back, and you will be repeating coming until it become an acute infection.
I see.
Because the source is in your home.
Let's look at the health effects: cholera, typhoid, and some other, ailments that could come to people. Let's look at it. Are we at risk because of how we are living dangerously and in a very fine mess?
Yes, to be honest with you, the risk is there, is readily available to all of us. We are all at risk. There's no one that will be exempted. Because when you live at Razako, and you think you are exempted from those who live closer to the landfills and stuff, they would cause the problem, and it will come to all of us. So we are all at risk. The best we can do is also collaborate with all the institutions that matters, and then pray that government will assist all of us to be able to do our possible best. And individually, those who sell the water at the roadside, those who sell the rice, when it gets to their washroom and come back in, what shows that they've been able to wash their hands properly before serving us? Our exchange of money as well. So all those things would lead to all of us, one way or the other. So we are all at risk in this particular stage, especially during this rainy season.
So what should the state be doing? Should the state be installing hand washing points at every junction, or should individuals take that responsibility, or should institutions do that? Who should lead the charge?
So we always say that we should all understand that risk is at the chest of everyone. We should be able to ensure our own personal safety. As we call on the government to do their possible best, like the way we started during the COVID, it has been able to take out a lot of issues off our table, like cholera, typhoid. All those ones have been reduced during the COVID era, not because we focused so much on COVID, but because our publicity and the barrier was broken for the transmission of those other infections. And besides that one as well, what would also advise is that as we are doing the education, the institutions should also do their best in monitoring. Let's say Ghana was, as I mentioned earlier, it should do a lot of monitoring on their pipes, and some of them you are all aware, when we call them, it takes a long time before they come. So the time between those communication and the arrival would have caused a lot of issues. Besides that as well, we should encourage the food vendors screening. As I speak with you, we have typhoid vaccine. So if you are able to screen, go on to a lot of mass screening, which could be helped by civil society. We do a number at our sessions, free screening. We could make the vaccines available for them to take. So when you are able to take the typhoid vaccine, you are also exempted within certain years, within a year to 2 years, you are exempted from the infection.
I hear you. Lovelace, we're grateful that you could join us this morning. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts.
Very well.
Great.
You are most welcome.
Thank you.
Always available for you.
And that's a public health professional joining us here at 11 minutes after 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Sorry, Aliachi.
Know that it takes up to 20 seconds. That's to be a hero. That's right. Every time you wash your hands, you protect yourself and everyone around you. This October, Kerex celebrates Global Hand Washing Day with the theme Be a Hand Washing Hero. So wash your hands very well between your fingers and around your thumb, and rinse well under clean running water. Wash after sneezing, coughing, using the restroom before eating, because real heroes don't just wear capes. They also wash their hands and protect themselves, their friends, and their families. Kerex cleans, cares, and protects for healthy skin. Kerex products is the best you can find on the market. Today we celebrate Global Hand Washing Day. Know that this weekend is also the grand finale of Ghana's Most Beautiful. It's going to be at the National Theatre. 100 Ghana cedis only. You get to see the beauty queens. We'll take a quick break. When we return from this break, we'll get to engage some guests who've joined me here in studio on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. Oh, before that, let me tell you about season 3 of what is making lots of people very, very wealthy. It's a winning season again, and this time I'm not just chasing wins, I'm collecting them. Luckiest is back again, bigger and better, with changes and chances for your life. Let me show you how. 2 easy ways to get into the game. First, grab your phone and dial *712#. That's *712#. Choose option 1 to buy a ticket for yourself, or option 2 to buy for someone else. Want the system to generate a lucky ticket for you? Go with option 1 again. Prefer to choose your own ticket? Well, that's number 2. Option 2, confirm your payment with Momo and you're in. Now, the online way, head to the luckiestafrica.com and register. Tap on community tickets to either pick your own lucky number or let the system choose for you so you can buy a ticket for someone else. When it's time to pay, just use your Momo and you're in if you're in Ghana, or you can use your card if you're abroad. One ticket can multiply your money by 500 times, and the whole community can get 10 times. This is your golden chance. Hop on and let's get it. And to win, because luck is everywhere. Luck is certainly everywhere. Dr. Cosmos Raya Menovic is a senior lecturer, Department of Languages and General Studies, a patron at the University of Energy and Natural Resources Forensic Society. James Clark Hayford is also Institutional Advancement and Alumni Relations Officer, University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani. Dennis Boating Amankwa is a level 400 electrical engineering student at Ghana University's Debate Open Category champion. Welcome, gentlemen. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Very limited time, so we have to run through quickly. Congratulations are in order. What did you win?
Yeah, the national champion for debate.
What exactly is it?
It's a debate competition that features all institutions, all universities across the country. And
Right.
fortunately for us, University of Energy and Natural Resources came out.
Was this your first time contesting?
This was my second time contesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and then good for us, we won.
What was your place in the first time you contested?
When the first time we contested, I think we didn't even make it to quarterfinals.
Whoa!
Yeah, so it's a significant achievement.
What changed this time around?
I think the input from the institution, the support that we got maximized this time round. Even the alumni pulled through
Sunrise
to get
on
proper
3
coaching and
FM,
training for us,
the
and that's how we
best
made
in
it.
the
I see. Let me talk to the alumni then. What did you do? What magic did you do?
I think we have realized that as a university, our mandate is in the energy and natural resources space, which is technically topical issues we are discussing now.
Right.
And I always believe that the late President Mills was right in setting up that university. 12 years ago, you will agree with me that the issues we're discussing in Ghana were normally not purely Galamsey and
Right.
what they call it, environmental related issue. But today
That's right.
we are doing it. But we want to show to the world that President Mills and his team was right. And we are not just expertise in energy and natural resources when it comes to
Right.
public speaking
Right.
and shaping public discourse. We are able to do it and do it very well. And that is why, as an alumni office, we believe that we must support these ones to change the national architecture through debating, as you do every day on Review What You Farm, Sunyani.
Right.
And we want to, conscientize the young one to be aware. As a university student, you ought to know what you are going to talk. They discuss a lot of issues, and they will tell you from the economy to all the things you want to talk about, the daily issues. So for me as an office, I believe that we can change the world through debate, and that is why we encourage them and support them wholeheartedly.
Doc, when these debates are held and the trophies are won and the debates have ended, we tend to shelve the ideas and put them on the shelves for them to gather dust. Is this going to be a horse of a different color?
Yeah, definitely. The fact is that the debate itself educate the debaters about not just national issues, but what affect the world globally, and also exposes them to a lot of issues. For example, they have their specific programs of education, but we know that if you're able to inculcate to the students the ability to think on their feet, because we live in a world where critical thinking is most important, and the ability to gather your thought around critical issues of the world and address them appropriately, it's a skill that we need. And so the university educate the students in their program specifically, but at the same time equips them with the ability to debate. And these things would bring them into responsible adults to be able to think with national issues and bring responsibility into the lives of their generation and also those who take after them.
Now, you talk about the nation called Ghana.
Yeah.
We keep talking about how we can industrialize, how we can maximize our potential, how we can add value to what we already have here, so we don't have to import, we don't have to export the raw materials, etc. And we've been talking about it for decades. When will the story change?
That's a very good question. I think for every building, the focus should be on the foundation. And of course, the older generations are doing their best, but I think it's about time we encourage the younger generations, children, just from the very basics, to put into them a sense of responsibility. Right from the family circle, where children are taught how to respond to the basics, how to say thank you, how to do this or that, and to grow into responsible adults.
Sunrise
If we as a people in our education curriculum educate from the foundation, from the kindergarten all the way to the university, that we must have a sense of responsibility towards our society. And once we get into the heart of these little ones, over time, I think we'll be able to change. So we have to start from the very basics, from the children.
Then it's come to the table for me. You are in school now. You'll be done with school very soon.
Yes.
And then what next?
Yeah, so I think that the power of words shouldn't be something that ends immediately after school, but this is something that should carry on, like Dot said, to the younger generation as well. So with the things I know and the things I've come to realize through the sports, I think the best thing would be to impact the generation that is coming after me through things like organizing seminars and even coaching sections for most of the younger ones that are coming. Yeah.
Somebody made a joke that people go and read pharmacy or then become pharmacists and at any of the universities you can mention, and they can produce 500 mg of paracetamol. And it's a big conversation. Will your story be different, or is your story different? You're an electrical engineering graduate in a few months.
Yeah.
What would your story be?
So, I think kudos to the university for this, because university graduates from University of Energy and Natural Resources don't just graduate with theoretical knowledge. You have the opportunity to participate in practical field and know specifically what electrical and electronic engineering should be used for. So personally, as I am nearing completion, I have knowledge that's applicable in most fields right now in Ghana, electrical and electronic engineering sectors. And I don't think it will be that same story. It's definitely changing.
So can you fix something with your own hands?
Yes, of
if
course.
I give you screwdriver and pliers
Of
and stuff, you can do it yourself. So you're not just learning Ohm's law and all those things, but you know how to apply them.
Yes.
Okay, I hear you. So you'll not be electrocuted. I just want to be sure. Hey Ford,
yes, boss.
Let's talk about support system. You know, he's coming out of school, or going to be completing in a bit. The kind of support system, and I say that we have a problem with that in this country. If you are a vegetarian and you go out with people who are not vegetarians, chances are that by the time the night ends, they might have been able to convince you, if you don't have a strong will, to indulge in what you don't want to indulge in.
I think.
Let's talk about the support system that you provide.
I think as a university, maybe you have to discover it more. Normally, our focus shouldn't be only in Accra. Sunyani have a wonderful history, and this university in particular.
You have to tell your story. We don't have to be chasing you around.
Yes, we do it a lot of time.
That's why you have media relations.
Yes, please. So the good news is that for us, the support system is incredible. We believe in the Vice Chancellor is in town. These young ones, the good news is that we're going to South Africa from 1st to 8th of December to represent Ghana at the Public Speaking Championship in South Africa. And already we have taken them to places that they deserve to be. The Minister for Education, local government, our hardworking MP, Honorable Mr. Mankwaya Boa. And today at 11 a.m. we are fortunate to meet the Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament. We believe that our university support system is incredible. The Vice Chancellor is here. He decided not to go. We want to go around with the student to ensure that when it comes to, because I have a different opinion with what you are saying. You might have gone to study pharmacy. I study, you don't know the program I study in the University of Cape Coast. But I'm not doing that today. I believe that the university empower you to be a critical thinker, good communicator.
Universal education, you
very
mean.
Good.
But then if you are specialized in an area, we must also feel it.
Yes. But I'm saying that technically I study BSc Agric Science. My master's and PhD in Agric Science. You see how I'm also a plant biologist. I can do that equally. But I think that what they are doing, I like the way the students are doing very well. Through the act of public speaking, I come from a mining community. I believe that we'll be able to change the young ones, appreciate the problems and help in solving it. Ghanaians usually know the problem, but solving it becomes a problem. And we leave it to only the central government to do it. But where I come from, I feel that we should be part of the solution, not always lamenting about the problem without finding solution to it. If you know the challenge, then you'll be able to. That's what the University of Energy and Resources do for our young ones. And the 16,000 students attest to the fact that we support them incredibly. We set up this office basically to provide. Remember, Ghana was beautiful. Last year, the lady from Dakwa, from the Bono Hafo region, she's an old student of our university. The Vice Chancellor of the week came. I don't what do you call it? The very first day to support. So for us, we believe in talent development. We also believe in making sure that with integrity, knowledge, you can make a lot of impact in Ghana.
I see. James, let me your closing thoughts. You're going out there to South Africa to represent us. What should we be expecting of you?
So I think with the same support we received from the institution for the national competition, with that same support, we are really going to do very well with our patron behind us. Expect that we go to South Africa and conquer the entire Africa.
I see. Doc, your closing thoughts. What do you leave with us?
And so we like the entire nation to be behind us and support us in any ways and in cash and kind, so we could really prepare for this championship and not just go in the name of bringing back the trophy, but to bring back the trophy as well as the responsibilities, the education that we have earned with such exposure, bring back to this country to educate other people too.
I realize you mentioned your MP, Millicent Mankwaya.
Yes.
Oh, the university is in a constituency.
Yes.
Sunyani West.
She's doing so well.
I see.
The good news is that we don't do politics, but you see, when you do right things, we want to talk about it. You know, she got information that on Saturday 1 a.m. you have won.
Okay.
And then the early morning, she came to another MP, Honorable Emilia Ankoma.
Okay.
Upper East.
They came to the school.
They came to Sunyani.
Okay.
We are in Accra. Erata Hotel, had a dinner for them. In fact, she was there throughout and took her to places. So the young ones are actually inspired to do more. And for me, she has my vote for the next vote.
I see. You have only one vote, by the way. It's 9:26 here, gentlemen. I want to thank you very much indeed for spending your morning with us. James Clark Hayford, Institutional Advancement and Alumni Relations Officer, University of Energy and Natural Resources, UNER in Sunyani. Also, Dr. Cosmos Raya Menovi is a Senior Lecturer, Department of Languages and General Studies and patron, UNER Forensic Society. And the champion, Dennis Boating Amankwa, level 400 electrical engineering student, Ghana University's debate open category champion, and is going to represent it in South Africa come sometime soon. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good morning.
Yes,